Good morning, viewers. You're watching Republic TV. My name is Priyanka Das, and welcome to today's segment of Quick Morning, where we delve into the latest news and updates from around the country and across the world to set the tone for your day. From tracking Maharashtra CM's oath ceremony to AAP's Kejriwal being attacked during Padyatra. Stay tuned as Republic TV brings you the ground realities of these developments. But that's not all. We'll also be bringing you the latest updates from the realms of business, sports and entertainment in our jam-packed lineup for this morning. So let's kickstart today's mega news day here on Republic. As always, with a nation first this quick morning. As suspense continues over Chief Minister's chair, the Maharashtra BJP chief Chandrashekhar Bawankule announced that the swearing-in ceremony of the new Maharashtra Chief Minister will be held on December 5th at the Mumbai's Azad Maidan. On Thursday, caretaker Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, his deputies Devendra Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar met Union Home Minister Amit Shah and BJP National President JP Nadda to discuss the government formation in the state. A key Mahayuti alliance meeting was put off and rescheduled for Sunday as Eknath Shinde headed to his native village in Satara district.
महायुति सरकार का शपथ ग्रहण समारोह माननीय पंतप्रधान नरेंद्र मोदी जी के उपस्थिति में मुंबई के आजाद मैदान पर 5 दिसंबर 2024 को 5 बजे होगा.
Cyclone Fengol, which crossed the coast near Puducherry on Saturday night, triggered heavy rainfall and strong winds over coastal districts in North Tamil Nadu, flooding low-lying areas and disrupting flights and train services in Chennai. This is the second cyclone to develop over the Bay of Bengal this season. The Regional Meteorological Center at Chennai said the cyclone's advanced spiral bands had crossed the coast by 7 p.m. on Saturday. Heavy rainfall is expected to continue today. Chennai airport was shut down and 226 flights were cancelled due to the adverse weather conditions. Another 20 flights due to arrive in Chennai were diverted to other airports, including as far as away as Guwahati. Arvind Kejriwal was attacked in Delhi after a man threw some suspicious liquid at the former chief minister on Saturday. The incident took place when the Aam Aadmi Party convener was on a Padyatra in Delhi's Greater Kailash area. The accused was detained by Kejriwal's security staff. A video of the incident has surfaced showing a man throwing some suspicious liquid at Arvind Kejriwal during the Padyatra. The accused was apprehended and manhandled by the Kejriwal supporters before the security staff detained him. Delhi Chief Minister Atishi linked the accused to the BJP. In an ex-post, she attached a screen grab of the accused in which he was named as the BJP member and his name was mentioned there as Manoj Kumar Jha.
मैं दिल्ली के लोगों से बोलना चाहता हूं कि आप एक ऐसा व्यक्ति जो स्वयं अपने कर्मों से इतना दिल्ली की नज़रों में गिर गया है. मुझे पता है कि कुछ लोग जिनके काम नहीं हुए या झूठे वादे हुए वो गुस्से में हैं, मगर ऐसी घटनाओं से बाज आना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये अरविंद केजरीवाल हैं. इनको आप स्याही फेंकने की जगह अब इनको वोट से आउट करना चाहिए.
AAP MLA Naresh Balyan was arrested by the Crime Branch of the Delhi Police amid rising concerns over his alleged involvement in an extortion case. The arrest was made after an investigation revealed an audio clip of a conversation between Balyan and gangster Kapil Sangwan, who is currently based abroad. The conversation allegedly involved discussions about collecting ransom money from businessman Balyan, who represents Uttamnagar in the Delhi Assembly, was initially detained by the police in connection with an extortion case in an FIR dating back to last year.
अरविंद केजरीवाल का आपराधिक चेहरा खुद जमानत पर है और उनके विधायक जनता को लूटने का काम कर रहे हैं. सोशल मीडिया से जो पब्लिक डोमेन में ऑडियो है उसके हिसाब से नरेश बाल्यान जो उत्तम नगर के विधायक हैं खुद गैंगस्टर्स को टिप्स दे रहे हैं कि इन आदमियों को फोन करो और जब तुम धमकाओगे उनको डराओगे तो वो पैसे लेकर आएंगे, उस पैसे का हम हिसाब करेंगे. तो ये आम आदमी पार्टी के विधायक है जिन्हें जनता ने सेवा के लिए चुना था, लेकिन वो जनता को ही लूटने का काम कर रहे हैं. तो ये पूरी की पूरी आम आदमी पार्टी का आपराधिक चरित्र है जो आज जनता के सामने आया है.
Shubhendu Adhikari, the leader of opposition in the West Bengal Assembly, participated in a rally organized by the Jadavpur Sanitani Parishad on the contentious Bangladesh issue. The rally, held in Jadavpur in Kolkata, aimed to raise awareness and garner support for the cause. Hindu organizations, including the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, condemned the rising atrocities against Hindus in Bangladesh and the recent arrest of Hindu priest Chinmoy Das in Bangladesh. The instances of violence against Hindus living in Bangladesh are constantly increasing and has become a major issue between India and Bangladesh. While a lot of people have come out on social media demanding safety for them, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and Bajrang Dal have announced a massive protest in solidarity with the Hindus in Bangladesh.
वाकफ बिल के खिलाफ मीटिंग कर रहे हैं। आज भी रानी रासमोनी में किया है कुछ लोग को लेकर, एक विशेष समुदाय को लेकर। लेकिन इतना बढ़िया बंगाली हिंदू के ऊपर अत्याचार हो रहा है, बुद्धिस्ट के ऊपर हो रहा है और मंदिर तोड़ जा रहा है। काल फ्राइडे था, काल भी चट्टग्राम मौलवी बाजार सब मिला के 11 हमारा मंदिर तोड़ा, बहुत लोग को मार दिया। ये लोग खामोश है।
Lawyers in Udaipur have decided to boycott judicial functions in protest against the District Legal Services Authority's recent decision to implement the alternative dispute resolution system at the police station and courts. The protest, led by Bharat Joshi, president of the Udaipur Bar Association, centers around the appointment of new lawyers by the new government, which lawyers claim undermines their livelihood and integrity of the legal system. Advocates argue that the ADR system, which appoints lawyers without client applications, has created an unfair advantage for certain groups, leading to a monopoly and an increase in crime. Critics say that it deprives both new and experienced lawyers of opportunities and threatens the future of legal practice. The lawyers are also concerned that this move could reduce public trust in the justice system, as cases are being handled by appointed lawyers without proper oversight. As a result, judicial functions in Udaipur, including the Lok Adalat, have been disrupted, with the Bar Association vowing to continue the boycott until the government reverses its decision. 3 people have died after a vehicle plunged into the Chenab River in Jammu and Kashmir on Saturday morning. The official further said that the body of a 70-year-old woman was recovered. The accident took place near Prem Nagar, Jammu. The police said that army recovery vans, NDRF team and police administration have undertaken a rescue operation. The police added that the car had not been recovered and 2 missing persons were assumed to be inside the car.
प्रेमनगर और ठाठी के बीच में कंडोत जगह का नाम है। यहाँ पे एक हादसा पेश हुआ है, जिसमें एक 8:30 बजे एक ऑल्टो गाड़ी थी, जिसमें 2 बुजुर्ग और एक 25 साल का लड़का रिपोर्टेडली हादसा का शिकार हो गए हैं। और हैरानी वाली बात यह है कि वो जा रहे थे डोडा वाली साइड, जबकि एक्सीडेंट हुआ है उल्टी रॉन्ग साइड से, वो भी 40 फुट ब्रॉड हाईवे से। और यूं ही हम देख रहे हैं नीचे गाड़ी अभी तक मिली नहीं है और 2 अभी भी गाड़ी में है शायद।
Viewers, tracking the top business stories for the day, we bring you the latest updates on India's economic landscape. From Adani's first reaction to US indictment to Amazon workers' worldwide protests. Stay tuned as we delve into the key highlights shaping the business world today. In his first direct response to the US court allegations, chairman of the Adani Group, Gautam Adani, said that every attack makes the group stronger. Taking on the recent allegations surrounding his company, Adani emphasized the importance of resilience, challenging the status quo and embracing transformation. Adani addressed the allegations made by the US regarding compliance practices and the Adani Green Energy. He firmly rejected all the claims, stating that no one from the Adani side has been charged with any violation.
As most of you would have read, less than 2 weeks back, we faced as a set of allegations from the US about compliance practices at Adani Green Energy. This is not the first time we have faced such challenges. What I can tell you is that every attack makes us stronger.
Indian Amazon employees have joined worldwide protests under Make Amazon Pay campaign. The employees are demanding better wages, improved working conditions and union recognition. Workers from several cities like Delhi, Agra, Patna, Rishikesh and Varanasi participated in the rallies. The strikes, which are timed around the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, are part of a global movement spanning over 20 countries, which includes US and Japan, among others. This marks the 5th consecutive annual strike against Amazon. Most of these protests highlight alleged labor rights, abuses, environmental negligence and corporate accountability concerns. The National Stock Exchange has revised the expiry dates for several derivatives contracts, effective from January 1st next year. Under this, monthly contracts for Fin Nifty, Mid CP Nifty and Nifty NX50 will now expire on the last Thursday of the expiry month. In a separate announcement, the Bombay Stock Exchange outlined changes to the expiry dates for its derivatives contracts effective from the same date. Weekly Sensex contracts will now expire on Tuesdays, moving from the current Friday schedule. Revenue Secretary said that India's vision is to become the world's most efficient and trusted trade hub by expanding participation of authorized economic operators and promoting innovative policies. He further said technology and trust are two pillars of the Revenue Department and underscored the importance of expansion of the Mutual Recognition Agreement program to include more regional and bilateral partners. India has been adopting technology both in direct and indirect tax administration, he said, adding that most of the services are online, including appeals, refunds and payments. US trade officials announced a new round of tariffs on solar panel imports from 4 Southeast Asian nations. This comes after American manufacturers complained that companies there are flooding the market with unfairly cheap goods. It is the second of 2 preliminary decisions that President Joe Biden's Commerce Department is making this year in a trade case. Moving on to our international segment, where we're tracking the ground pulse of some of the biggest global headlines. Today, we delve into significant developments from around the world, from intensified Georgian protests to protests in Tel Aviv over hostage release. Stay tuned as we unravel the latest updates shaping the global landscape. Lebanon's southern port city Tyre is slowly returning to life. Several businesses that were damaged during conflict between Israel and Hezbollah have reopened. Shop owners were seen repairing, painting and rebuilding their cafes while other businesses resumed work. A shop owner said the war and suffocating economic crisis made the situation very difficult, while another owner said she hoped the war would end and businesses could recover stronger than before. The war between Israel and Hezbollah has halted this week as a result of a ceasefire brokered by the US and France. The ceasefire agreement calls for a 2-month initial halt in fighting. Tyre was subjected to nearly daily airstrikes over the past 2 months that leveled entire buildings and forced many of its residents to move to safer areas in Lebanon. Thousands of Israelis took to the streets of Tel Aviv on Saturday for the weekly demonstration demanding a deal to return the remaining hostages held by Hamas in Gaza. Efforts for ceasefire between Israel and Hamas have faltered, but the US and France brokered deal for Lebanon appears to be holding since Wednesday. On Saturday, Hamas released a video of Israeli-American hostage Eden Alexander. Speaking under duress, Alexander referred to being held for 420 days and directly addressed US President-elect Donald Trump. Alexander, who also mentioned Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's recent $5 million offer for the hostages' return. Demonstrations in Georgia have escalated following the government's decision to halt negotiations for European Union membership. Protesters flooded the central streets near the Parliament building, with some attempting to breach metal gates. This response, police used tear gas and water cannons while making numerous arrests. The president of Georgia called on law enforcement to show restraint and avoid using force against the protesters. She emphasized that the situation did not warrant police intervention or violence and placed the responsibility for any escalation of the police and their superiors, urging them to carefully consider their actions. An Israeli airstrike in the Gaza Strip on Saturday killed 5 people, 3 of whom were reportedly employees of the food charity World Central Kitchen. The organization had temporarily suspended its aid delivery efforts earlier this year, following an Israeli strike that killed 7 of its workers. The Israeli military stated that the strike targeted a wanted militant in a vehicle who they claimed was employed by the World Central Kitchen and involved in the October 7th massacre. However, family members of the victims have alleged that they were deliberately targeted. On Saturday, hundreds of thousands of workers in Italy staged an 8-hour strike in protest of Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's 2025 budget, which they argue increases living costs and cuts wages. The budget is designed to tackle Italy's long-standing public debt issues, with the goal of reducing the national deficit to 2.8% of GDP by 2026. In response to an injunction from the Transport Ministry, workers in the local transport, ferry and airline sectors shortened their strike to 4 hours instead of the planned 8 to limit disruptions. Despite this, the strike saw strong participation, with organizers reporting that about 70% of workers in the affected sectors joined. ITA, Italy's flagship airline, was forced to cancel 109 flights, including 18 international routes. Mass protests and rallies took place in at least 43 cities, including Rome, Milan, Turin, Bologna and Naples, with an estimated 500,000 people taking part. Thousands of people took to the streets of Rome on Saturday to express their support for Palestinians in Gaza, as violence in the region continues despite a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah appearing to hold. Protesters expressed their outrage, condemning what they described as a global shift towards fascism, with some pointing to figures like Elon Musk as symbols of this influence. They stressed the need for stronger resistance, urging that it must grow, become more disruptive, and have the power to bring businesses as usual to a halt until governments stop supporting what they consider as genocide.
We're in a terrible moment all over the West. We're facing fascist, international fascism now. We're facing Elon Musk deciding what's going to happen in the world. And here we are to show some form of what I say mild resistance, but this resistance has to grow. It has to become more disruptive. It has to have the capability to shut down business as usual until our governments stop being complicit with this genocide.
The season's first major snowfall is expected to overwhelm towns in New York near Lakes Erie and Ontario, with freezing temperatures and heavy snow likely to continue into next week, creating hazards across the Great Lakes, Plains and Midwest regions. A state of emergency has been declared in parts of New York, complicating travel for many Thanksgiving travelers attempting to return home. This Arctic cold front has caused temperatures in the northern plains to plummet by 10 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit below average. On Saturday, hundreds of people gathered in Beirut carrying lights and candles at the site where Hezbollah's longtime leader Hassan Nasrallah was killed last September. This marked the first time since the Israeli strike on September 27, 2023, that the public was allowed to assemble at the location to honor the late leader of the influential Lebanese militant group. Nasrallah's death sent shockwaves across Lebanon and the Middle East, where he had been a dominant political and military figure for over 3 decades. His assassination is considered the most significant and impactful of Israel's targeted killings in recent years. Following Trump's threat of a 25% tariff, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau met with Trump, calling their discussion excellent. Trump had warned of tariffs on products from Canada and Mexico unless they stop what he described as the flow of drugs and migrants across their borders. Reports indicate the conversation covered topics such as trade, border security, fentanyl, defense, Ukraine, NATO, China and pipelines. However, it was unclear whether the meeting addressed Trump's concerns. Icelanders headed to polls on Saturday to elect a new parliament after disagreements over immigration, energy policy and the economy, which led Prime Minister Bjarne Benediktsson to dissolve his coalition government and call an early election. The Prime Minister exuded confidence that they would secure the highest number of votes. This marks Iceland's sixth general election since the 2008 financial crisis, which severely impacted the country's economy and triggered a period of political instability. Opinion polls indicate that the country could face another political shift, with support for the three governing parties dropping.
A swift election, only about 7 weeks. It was an uphill battle for my party initially, but as we moved on into the election campaign, I think things started to turn our way, and I feel that this will be a very exciting election day. We're still hoping to turn out on top with the highest number of votes, but we'll have to see.
Coming up next, we have stories from the action-packed world of sports and entertainment. So sit back and we'll be right with you. All right, viewers, it's time to dive into the world of sports with a segment dedicated to all the action-packed highlights and exciting matchups. Today, we bring you the latest updates from the ICC, where the Pakistan Cricket Board has announced its will to accept hybrid model. Stay tuned as we unravel this story from the Champions Trophy. Keep listening to All the Buzz right here on our sports segment. South Africa registered a huge 233-run win over Sri Lanka in the first Test match in Durban to take a big jump in the World Test Champions 2023-25 points table. South Africa jumped 3 places up to the second position to boost their chances for the spot in the final. The Proteas surpassed Australia, New Zealand and Sri Lanka to rise to the second position with their 5th match win in 9 matches in the WTC 2023-25 cycle. Australia, meanwhile, slipped to the 3rd position, while Sri Lanka dropped to the 5th place after South Africa's huge win. 5 teams, India, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand and Sri Lanka, are all fighting for the 2 final spots in the 2023-25 season. Ahead of giving Saudi Arabia the men's 2034 World Cup to host, FIFA proved the quality of its bid in a 110-page evaluation that noted high risks related to human rights in the oil-rich kingdom. FIFA's in-house inspection team noted Saudi Arabia must invest significant effort and time to fulfill promises for the tournament that comply with international standards, which were widely criticized this year at the United Nations Human Rights Council. Former South Africa fast bowler Lonbabo Sotsubi, wicketkeeper batter Thami Solakili and Titans medium pacer Ethi Mabalati have been arrested and charged with 5 counts of corruption. The trio has been charged under Section 15 of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act 2004. Rohit Sharma is back to leading Team India in the longest format of the game after missing the first test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy due to the birth of his second child. He will be seen leading India in the 2-day pink ball warm-up match against Prime Minister's 11 at the Manuka Oval in Canberra. The first day of the warm-up game was called off due to persistent rain. Backing down from its boycott threat, the Pakistan Cricket Board, or the PCB, has told the ICC that it is willing to accept the hybrid model for hosting next year's Champions Trophy, provided the world body allows the same arrangement for the events to be held in India till 2031. A top PCB source revealed that the board is also demanding a greater share in the annual revenue cycle for agreeing to the model, under which India would be playing its share of matches, including the clash against Pakistan in Dubai, owing to security concerns. The Champions Trophy is set to be held in February-March next year. Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman Mohsin Naqvi met Emirates Cricket Board head Mubashir Usmani in Dubai amid deliberations on a hybrid model for the Champions Trophy to be held in February-March next year. According to a PCB statement regarding the meeting, Naqvi told Usmani that Pakistan was ready to host the Champions Trophy and all the preparations were on schedule. Usman is also the chairman of the ICC's Associate Members Committee. Indian challenger D. Gukesh played out a hard-fought draw with white pieces in the 5th game of the World Chess Championship against defending champion Ding Liren of China. The second draw in a row left both players with an identical tally on 2.5 points apiece, still shy of 5 more points in order to win the championship. The 18-year-old Gukesh is the youngest ever challenger for the crown and had won the 3rd game. No one can take away the phenomenal achievements of Ravichandran Ashwin, but the Indian team management is preparing Washington Sundar for a near future, as Harbhajan Singh has claimed. Liverpool defender Ibrahim Konate of the Prime in a challenge by the Real Madrid. The France centre-back hurt his leg in a challenge by Real Madrid striker Endrick in the last seconds of Liverpool's 2-0 win in the Champions League. Liverpool manager Arne Slot didn't rule Konate out of the City match in his news conference Friday, but a post by Konate on Instagram a few hours later suggested he would not play. Viewers, it's time for us to slip into a segment with all dedicated stories from the glitz and glamour and entertainment. So stay tuned. That's it. Martin Scorsese, Paul Thomas Anderson and Ridley Scott has passed away at the age of 57. He succumbed to thyroid cancer in Studio City. Somna's most recent project was as a producer and assistant director on Anderson's upcoming Warner Brothers film starring Leonardo DiCaprio. He was also part of the production team for Anderson's Licorice Pizza, which earned a Best Picture Oscar nomination. Punjabi music sensation AP Dhillon arrived in Mumbai on Saturday ahead of his much-anticipated The Brown Print Tour. In September, Dhillon announces India tour. The tour is set to kick off in Mumbai on December 7th, followed by a debut performance in New Delhi on December 14th and concluding in Chandigarh on December 21st. Dhillon will perform alongside long-time collaborator Shinda Kalo. Bollywood actress Shraddha Kapoor attended the Raja Dharaj musical show at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in New Delhi, conceptualized by visionary creator Dhanraj Natwani. The musical show made its debut in Delhi on Friday. The opening night witnessed the starry presence of Shahid Kapoor and Bhumi Pednekar. The show was dedicated to the life and leelas of Sri Krishna and offered a soul-stirring portrayal of Sri Krishna's magnanimity, grace and timeless teachings. Executive producer Bhumi Natwani presented the musical masterpiece. The timeless leelas of Krishna's journey have been penned by the renowned screenwriter Prasoon Joshi. Viewers, that's all from today's edition of Quick Morning, but don't go anywhere, viewers, as we'll be right back tracking the top headlines and biggest stories from across the globe on your Republic TV.